Hello friends, welcome to our channel Pharmatude, and our topic is the distribution phenomena. Now this topic is one of the important topic in the exam point of view, as well as in order to understand the distribution phenomena of the various pharmaceutical preparation and the drugs. So you need to understand this topic thoroughly in order to clear your concepts. Now this topic is mainly useful for the students who are in the third semester of B Pharmacy, and so now let us begin with our topic. Now what do you mean by partition coefficient? So in order to understand the distribution phenomena, firstly you need to understand the meaning of partition coefficient. Now if a liquid or a solid substance is added to a mixture of two immiscible liquids, then it will become distributed between two layers in a definite concentration ratio. Now say for example, if we are adding a two liquids, say the first one is the inorganic solvent and the another one is the organic solvent. Say for example, whenever we are mixing water and benzene, so at that time what happens, that water and benzene are totally immiscible in each other, and so they form a layer between them. And so whenever we are adding any such a solid or a liquid substance in that, then that substance gets distributed between the layer formed by water and benzene. So if C1 and C2 are the equilibrium concentrations of the substance in solvent 1 and solvent 2 respectively, then the equilibrium expression becomes C1 by C2 is equal to K. So if say for example C1 and C2 are two solvent, and now you can consider that C1 is the benzene and C2 is the water. So what happens, that in order to find out the equilibrium constant, we have to take the ratio of concentration of the benzene to that of the water, or simply we can say that we have to take the ratio of C1 and C2. Now the equilibrium constant K is also known as distribution ratio or the distribution coefficient, or simply the partition coefficient. So K is also known as distribution ratio also. So by finding out the value of K, we can know the particular value of a partition coefficient. Now this is the simpler diagram which you might have performed in your lab scale, or during the performance of your practicals you might have observed that this is a separating funnel and there are two layers. So say for example that the bottom layer is the aqueous portion and the upper layer is that of the organic layer. So whenever we are adding the aqueous as well as the organic layer or the organic liquid, then they are totally immiscible in each other. So what happens, that whenever we are adding any drug molecule in that, or so it gets distributed in between the water as well as the or simply the aqueous portion as well as the what we can say, that organic layer. So here by taking out or by doing a titration of that layer, we can simply determine the concentration of drug in an aqueous layer as well as the concentration of drug in the organic layer. So we have to conduct the practical in such a way that that after mixing this liquid we have to keep them aside for, we can say that for a 60 minutes or for a 30 minutes, and then depending upon the conditions we have to take them out and then do a particular titration. And so after doing titration and then after doing a particular calculation, we can identify the concentrations of that particular drug in that particular solvent. Now partition coefficient we can understand by taking one of the example. Say when boric acid is distributed between water and the amyl alcohol or simply alcohol at 25 degree, then the concentration in water is found to be 0.0510 mole per liter, and in the alcohol it is found to be 0.0155 mole per liter. So what is the distribution coefficient? So here in the previous slide only we have discussed that in order to what we can say to that in order to determine the partition coefficient, we have to take the ratio of water to that of the ml alcohol. So here we can find out the partition coefficient or simply the equilibrium coefficient or uh, the distribution phenomena by simply taking out the ratio of concentration of water to that of the alcohol. So we can take the ratio, that is 0.0510 divided by 0.0155. So we can get the value of partition coefficient is 3.29. Now what is the partition coefficient? The actual definition: it is the parameter which characterizes the relative affinity of a compound in its unionized form for water and on immiscible model liquid solvent like octanol. Simply we can say that the partition coefficient is a parameter which finds out or which determines that the concentration of a particular drug molecule in a particular solvent. Say for example, here we are taking water as a aqueous solvent and the octanol as a organic solvent. So we have to find out the concentration of drug in water, as well as we have to find out the concentration of drug in the octanol. So here octanol was chosen as the model lipid phase because it most closely stimulates the properties of biological membrane. So as the octanol is favorable for the cell membrane structure, so it is chosen, and the determination of log P value involves the placing of drug compound and along with the two immiscible solvents in a separating funnel. So by doing the experiment in the separating funnel, we can find out the value of log P, and the molecules of the solute will distribute in each phase until the equilibrium gets established. So whenever we are adding any substance, or say for example any drug, in order to find out the partition coefficient, then what happens that the molecules of solute gets equally distributed in both the solvents, and then we can find out the value of log P, or simply we can say the partition coefficient. Now what is the significance of log P's value? Now the ratio of two concentration is the partition coefficient or a distribution coefficient P, that is the CO or W. So CO is the concentration of the organic layer and CW is the concentration of the aqueous layer. Now by taking out the ratio, we can determine the value of P or log P. So if P is equal to 1 or log P is equal to 0, then there is a equal distribution of the substance between the water and the oily layer. If the value of P is less than 1 or the log P's value is less than 0, then the drug has affinity for water or hydrophilic layer. So if the value of P is less than 1, then that particular drug molecule has much more affinity for that of the aqueous layer. Now if the value of P is greater than 1, or simply it's the value of log P is greater than 0, which implies that drug has affinity for liquid membrane, or we can say simply a oily layer, and structure affects the value of partition coefficient B. So the substituent that increases the partition coefficient value are the alkyl group, then aryl group, as well as the halogens. So these are the functional group which increases the value of log P. So as a result, they have much more affinity for the what we can say that lipid membrane or simply the organic layer. Now the substance that decrease the value of P are the carboxyl group, then the amine group, then the oxygen, then the carbonyl group, and the hydroxyl group. So such compounds have much more affinity towards the aqueous phase. So as a result, they decreases the value of log P, and causes the affinity of the drug towards the water or the hydrophilic layer. Now what do you mean by the apparent partition coefficient? When the association and the dissociation of drug occurs, then the situation becomes much more complicated. And so for example, we can take that a benzoic acid associates in oil phase and dissociate in the aqueous phase. So here in the partition coefficient, there are two phenomena which takes place. First one is the association, and the second one is the dissociation. So here what happens, that whenever we are taking a benzoic acid, then benzoic acid in the oily phase or simply in the hydrocarbon phase, they becomes associated with each other and form a dimer, and in the aqueous phase they get dissociated. So what happens, that the drugs which are weak acid or weak base, they ionize in water, and then depending upon their pK value and on the pH of the aqueous phase. So what happens, that benzoic acid is a weak acid, so it gets ionized in water, and as they are weak acid, so their pK value is also high and their pH is also high, so they get dissociated under the aqueous phase. And so in general, the ionic structures cannot partition in octanol or other hydrophobic solvent. So ionic compounds cannot be hydrolyzed into the organic phase or in the hydrocarbon molecules. So P value cannot be used to access the true distribution of the ionizable drug in the immiscible phase, simply because its value is dependent on the ionic state of which it is dependent on pH. So mainly the P value is mainly dependent on the two factors. First one is the pH, and the second one is the ionizable characters. And so depending upon these two factors, pH value of a particular substance or a drug molecule is get determined. Now here you can see that how to determine the partition coefficient or apparent partition coefficient. Say for example, we have kept an acid HA into the octanol phase, but as that acid has having an affinity towards the water, so it gets dissociated in the water, and so we can simply then calculate the value of log P CO by CW. So by doing the calculation, we can find out the value of the log P. So what is the value of log P? Here we found is HA, or simply the what we can say acid divided by the acid in the aqueous phase plus the base or simply the anion in the aqueous phase. So by keeping the value of a particular concentration, we can find out the value of apparent partition coefficient. Now what are the advantages of using this funnel or simply the separating funnel for calculating the value of log P? So there are various types of instruments which are available in order to find out the log P. So one of the famous technique which we are using in the lab scale is the separating funnel. So it is one of the most accurate method, and it is also a broadcast range of solutes can be find out, and simply it is a simple and the lab operative procedures. And so what are the disadvantages? It is the time consuming method, that whenever we are mixing the organic as well as the aqueous liquid, then we have to keep them apart for the 30 minutes or more than 30 minutes per sample. So it is a time consuming method. Then the octanol and water must be mixed and the equilibrium should attain until the 24 hours. So we have to keep that mixture for completely 1 or 2 days, so that the what we can say that equilibrium can get established between them. So it is again a time consuming method. And third, the large amount of materials are required. So as the large amount of materials are required, so the cost of finding gets also increased. Now what are the limitations of this method, or simply we can say the limitations of the distribution phenomena? First, it takes place only under the dilute solution. So the concentration of solute must be low in two solvents, and so this law does not hold good when the concentration are high. Whenever we are dissolving any drug molecule inside these solvents, then their concentration should be less. If the concentration gets exceed above the limit, then the desired result can't be achieved. So it is favorable for the dilute solutions only. Then second one is a constant temperature. Now the temperature should be constant throughout the experiment, as solubility is a temperature dependent. We have already seen in our previously video that solubility of a particular substance is changes as per the what we can say that endothermic reaction as well as the exothermic reaction. So in order to find out the solubility of a particular drug molecule, or in order to conduct this phenomena of distribution in a smooth way, we have to keep a constant temperature, and it's a mandatory one. Same molecular state, solute must be in the same molecular state in both the solvents. So the molecular state of a particular solute should not change when it is transferred to organic layer or when it is transferred to aqueous layer. Then fourth one is the equilibrium concentration. This is achieved by shaking the mixture for a long period of time. As we have already known in our previous slide that it is a time consuming process, so it requires a large time for obtaining the equilibrium concentration. And the fifth one, or the last one, we can say that a non-miscibility of a solvent. So the solvents are to be allowed for separation of a sufficient time, as we are taking water and the organic liquid, so it is simply that we can say that they are immiscible into each other. So for their separation we have to keep a large time, and so it is again a time consuming method. So we have to keep patience in order to conduct this experiment, as it is a time consuming process, but it is a nice technique in order to determine the partition coefficient. So hopefully you will have got the idea regarding the distribution phenomena. And so now here our first unit, that is the solubility phenomena, is get completely over. And so from